Hey everyone, Coach Sean here. And today I'm going to stir the pot a little bit. I'm going to talk about sport jiu-jitsu and street jiu-jitsu or self-defense jiu-jitsu. And if you notice in the title, I didn't write street versus sport or sport versus self-defense jiu-jitsu because I don't think that's the right way to look at things. Sport jiu-jitsu and self-defense jiu-jitsu are very different things. Although the techniques overlap, and of course, you can do a lot of the things that you do in sport and self-defense, and a lot of the things in self-defense you can do in the sport, they're still completely different in my opinion. They have completely different purposes. They have completely different ways of thinking. And there's a lot of things that happen in self-defense that can hurt you in sport. And there's a lot of things that you do in sport that can hurt you in self-defense. The number one thing that I think we need to keep in mind is that there are rules in sport. And those rules are very important. And I think that those rules are something that we need, especially for regular people who practice or even athletes who want to show their skills and become champions or win tournaments. I think these rules are very important because it allows you to keep doing the sport without risking severe trauma to your body and injury that can completely incapacitate you, even maybe for life. The only thing is that these rules create a mindset that's not really good for a street or self-defense scenario. For example, being comfortable on your back. Being comfortable on your back is fantastic in sport. You don't have to worry about facing a flurry of punches or elbows, knees, kicks. You don't have to worry about getting picked up and slammed. These are all things that are not allowed in the sport, but can happen in the street. Grabbing of fingers, for example, that's another thing. We have to remember that these rules are so that we can keep this sport fun and we can keep doing it for a long time. And that's a great thing. It's a fantastic thing. The only thing is that if you only do sport, you're not exposing yourself necessarily to situations that could happen in self-defense or in the street. And you're only as good as what you practice and all the patterns that you develop over your career as a jiu-jitsu person. For example, if you're someone who likes to pull guard a lot or sit down in front of your opponent, and you don't practice any takedowns, that could be a big problem for you in the street. If you're not sure or you're unable to take someone down who's your size or bigger because you don't practice that could be a severe detriment for you. You could end up in a bad deficit in that combat situation because if that person takes you down, that could be really dangerous. We have to remember that there's also a lot of techniques that we do in sport that can expose you and can cause a lot of damage. For example, inversions. I even see the kids sometimes when they end up inverted, and it's not always on purpose, but I see the other kid right away bringing those knees right over their neck, and I have to stop them. That can happen in the street as well, and that can injure you. It can incapacitate you. We have to remember that in a street scenario, things are crazy. There are no rules. People will do all kinds of things to you that you're not going to expect. Think of the spazzy white belt that comes in. A lot of people complain and I don't want to spar with the spazzy white belt. I don't want to get hurt. Okay, understandably, not everybody wants to be in those situations and not everybody's training for the street or for self-defense. But the spazzy white belt is a perfect example of some of the things that you're going to see in a self-defense scenario. We're taking away punches and kicks, but what's the worry? Getting elbowed, getting hit by accident. Maybe they're going to do something that's against the rules, like pick you up when they're in your guard and throwing you back onto the ground. We've seen videos in tournaments of guys doing that, and the fight's over. It is finished. And these guys are grapplers. They've been thrown before. They know what it feels like, but guy got up in the guard, guy followed, boom, slammed him back down, fight is over. These are the things that we need to keep in mind when we practice sport jiu-jitsu, for example, if we're going to have situations in the street. Remember, it only takes one punch or one kick, the right place, the right time, and your jiu-jitsu is completely useless. You're going to be severely incapacitated, either because you get knocked out or maybe because you're so injured that you can't keep fighting. You know, it's very hard for me to, for example, I'm 5'7" and I weigh about 170 pounds. It's very hard for me to justify sitting down in front of a 6'5", 250-pound man and try and get an ashigarami leg entanglement while he's standing to try and take him down and get an straight ankle lock or even a heel hook, for example. He's just gonna jump on me. The second I get close to his legs, he's just gonna jump on me. We have to remember that people are gonna do things, especially when they're untrained, that we do not expect. We have to remember that we have to keep a middle ground. As I said earlier, I'm more of a self-defense type of practitioner, but I also do sport, I also compete. And I think that's where we should keep it. I think that it's important that we do sport, we keep it fun, we do the inversions if you wish. I mean, I can't do those inversions. I'm an older grappler now, and there's no way I'm gonna be doing all these inversions and these bringing my knees behind my head kind of guards. That's not my thing. And I mean, for some people it is, and fantastic. I mean, it's fun. Who doesn't like strangling and arm-barring each other, right? But I think there should be a happy medium. I think that we should expose ourselves sometimes to situations where, you know, the Spazio white belt, for example, or maybe practicing, hey, what do I do in the guard if somebody's trying to punch me? What do I do if I'm standing and somebody's trying to punch me? How do I take them down? How do I deal with these situations? I don't think we should keep this whole, oh, sport is garbage because blah, 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 or, oh, self-defense is garbage because I can do this and this and this. Guys, let's stop this. Why not do both? This is just like the gi and the no gi situation. Just do both. Have fun with it. And if you don't want to do both, that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with focusing on the sport, and there's nothing wrong with just focusing on self-defense. I think though that if you only do one or the other, you're losing out. And I mean, why would you lose out? Why would you allow yourself to lose out? Do it, practice, have fun, enjoy the sport, practice the self-defense. Guys, the important thing is that you're on the mats, that you're moving your body, and that you're having fun, and that you're meeting new people, you're talking, you're learning new things. I think that's what it comes down to. So instead of thinking, oh, well, sport versus street or self-defense, think of it like, I like to do sport, and I like to learn self-defense. And I hope I never have to use self-defense. And I hope that I get to use my sport jiu-jitsu in tournaments, and I get to win tournaments using it, and I get really good at it. And I think that's the best way to look at it. I think that we should blend the two things together, use them when they're appropriate, hope that we don't have to use the self-defense in the street, and just have fun on the mats. All right, guys, that's enough for now. I hope to see you on the mats.